It begins in a theater before the curtain rises. The audience is already seated, already willing. They have come not to understand, but to be convinced. On the stage, a man prepares to perform a simple trick. Nothing extravagant, nothing new. An object disappears and returns. The hands are steady, the movements precise, the timing practiced to the point of invisibility. What matters is not what happens, it's what is missed. Because the real work of illusion doesn't happen under the spotlight. It happens in the quiet agreement between performer and observer, the shared decision not to look too closely. This is the world of magicians, a world built on discipline, secrecy, and restraint. A world where applause is currency and mystery is survival. And within it, two men begin the same journey, convinced they are walking in opposite directions. They start as students. Young, serious, hungry in different ways. One is consumed by craft. He studies technique with patient obsession, believing that mastery comes from control, every movement measured, every failure absorbed silently. His ambition is steady, almost polite, but unyielding. The other is driven by hunger, not for precision, but for recognition. He wants reaction, wonder, the sharp intake of breath when the impossible appears effortless. He understands people instinctively, and he resents anyone who stands between him and admiration. At first, their rivalry is subtle, professional, civil. But beneath it runs something darker and need not just to succeed, but to be superior, to be seen as the one who truly understands magic. Not as a trick, but as a statement of identity. Neither man speaks of this openly. They don't need to. The tension lives in the pauses, in the way they watch each other perform. In the silence that follows applause when comparison begins, an accident changes the shape of everything. It happens during a performance. A moment meant to thrill turns irreversible. What was once illusion becomes consequence, and the line between professional rivalry and personal blame dissolves. Grief enters the story not loudly, but with weight. It settles into daily routines. It sharpens focus. It narrows vision. From this point on, every choice feels justified. Both men tell themselves they are moving forward, improving, perfecting their art. But what they're really doing is orbiting each other, measuring progress, not by growth, but by distance gained over the other. They begin to sacrifice quietly. Sleep, relationships, integrity. Magic becomes less about wonder and more about winning. The shift doesn't arrive with revelation. It arrives with proof. One of them witnesses something that shouldn't be possible. Not a clever deception, not misdirection, but an act that defies the rules they have both accepted. For the first time, reason falters. And in that moment, the story changes shape. Because if the impossible is achievable not through skill, but through cost, then the question is no longer how far one will go, but what one is willing to lose. The pursuit of mastery gives way to obsession, and obsession demands exclusivity. The lives around them begin to erode. Loved ones become collateral unseen participants in a conflict they don't understand. Trust thins. Intimacy fades. What remains is performance, carefully managed appearances, masking private ruin. One man divides himself in pursuit of perfection. The other gives up pieces of his humanity, convinced that suffering is the price of greatness. Neither believes he has a choice, because obsession does not feel like madness when it is shared with purpose. It feels like commitment, discipline, resolve. Each man becomes a reflection of the other, mirrored not in success, but in sacrifice. And slowly, the truth emerges. The greatest illusion is not on stage. It is a story each man tells himself about who he has become. By the end, the theater is silent again. The audience has witnessed the trick. They have seen the prestista, final moment meant to justify everything that came before. But understanding lingers just out of reach, because the cost was never visible under the lights. What remains is not triumph, but emptiness. Not victory, but continuation. A life shaped entirely around proving something to an unseen rival who has long since become irrelevant. The secret, once revealed, offers no relief, only the quiet knowledge that some men don't chase greatness to be remembered. They chase it because, without the pursuit, they would have to face who they are when the curtain falls.